Live from the Fox 43 studio. Your late news an hour earlier. This is Fox 43 News at 10.
Police arrest a Virginia Beach man in New York. What he's accused of doing inside this restaurant that landed him in jail.
Driver, knock on the ground!
North Carolina deputies arrested the mom of one of the girls involved in this fight. Find out what the mother of the other girl told Fox 43. Also, what searchers found at the scene of a deadly plane crash on the Outer Banks. Then the Gilmerton Bridge is back open to traffic, but that doesn't mean the construction is over. And later, hundreds of jobs are up for grabs at 2 local theme parks. How you can apply. But first on Fox, a London-like day across Hampton Roads. Time to get those winter jackets and raincoats back out because it is winter after all.
Yes, it is. You are looking at a wet Mercury Boulevard in Hampton tonight. Get used to the rain and cooler temps. Break out those coats. Chief Meteorologist Don Slater is here to tell us just how long these changes will last. Don?
The cool part of it is going to last for a long time. The rain part of it is going to last long enough. It'll be around in a day and a half. Here's what's going on Super Doppler 10 Live. We showed you scenes from Hampton on Mercury Boulevard. Really, the peninsula and points northward have really gotten socked with rain. The south side, not quite as much. We are seeing a bit of a let-up, certainly for the eastern shore right now. There's not as much, and the south side most certainly. In North Carolina, you haven't had all that much at all, but you'll note there is a little bit more rain right on off into approaching Surrey County, and that's going to be moving back toward the peninsula here within the next hour or so. Here's what's going on. Again, you can see that rainfall toward Wakefield, moving into Surrey County. Sussex County is getting it already, moving through the Wakefield area, and then a lot more way on off to the west. You can see some of this action that continues to move toward the northeast. So if you've had rain, some moderate rain already, you're going to see a lot more coming up in the next several hours during the overnight hours. Now, I want to show you how much rainfall we've gotten. It's been a little impressive already for parts of the peninsula and the middle peninsula. You can see for the south side, not as much, anywhere from nothing or next to nothing on up to about 1/3 of an inch. But then we get to the peninsula, and especially toward the Williamsburg area, that's where we're really seeing, again, in Surrey County, again, upwards of 3/4 of an inch of rain into northern parts of Newport News as well, and into York County. Certainly for the middle peninsula, the northern neck, which is right here, and the eastern shore, we've had some pops of heavy rain as well, but we're seeing a little bit of a let-up for right now, but there's a lot more in store. So this is going to be continued. And as I mentioned, it's likely to continue in terms of rainfall. We're likely to see a little bit of rain all the way into Wednesday. Here's where we are Tuesday. You'll note that it's still really, really focused in these same areas from the peninsula and points northward. South side is going to get some rainfall out of this as well. I think by Wednesday during the day, it should taper on off considerably. But look at all the rain we get out of this. We could see pretty close to 3 inches of rain from Richmond to eastward through the middle peninsula and toward the Williamsburg area, parts of Newport News, 1 inch to 2 1/3 inches of rain, and that's mainly through Wednesday morning. Now we're going to update Super Doppler 10 Live for you, really kind of stop and start things, show you what's going on with our forecast in a few minutes.
And we are first on Fox, making sure that you're always prepared for weather while on the go. Take the Fox43TV.com with you. Just download our Wavy mobile app on your smartphone and tablet so you can see current weather conditions, live radar images, and the forecast for your neighborhood.
A shooting investigation involving 2 states. A Virginia Beach man is accused of firing at a woman inside a New York restaurant. Police in Rochester say 30-year-old James Harvey brought a gun into the business. When security found out and confronted him, investigators say Harvey fired, hitting a woman. Paramedics took her to a nearby hospital. She is expected to be okay. Police say he and the victim were strangers. Tonight, Harvey faces a number of charges.
Authorities searched the chilly waters around Dare County and found the body of a North Carolina pilot who crashed his plane. 49-year-old Greg Carlisle was from Raleigh. Our sister station there gave us this picture of him and says he was a seasoned pilot. Carlisle's twin-engine plane went down in Croatan Sound as he was trying to land at the Dare County Regional Airport. Rescuers saved a female passenger, a work colleague. She is expected to be okay. Investigators will ask the state medical examiner to perform an autopsy on Carlisle.
A toxicology screening and those types of things to ensure that there was no drug abuse or alcoholism or anything like that.
I'm not exactly sure how long exactly he's had his license or whatever, but he's an excellent pilot, you know, very capable.
And there's no indication yet what caused this crash, but we do know last night's weather was limited due to fog. Crews are now focusing on how to raise the plane, which is at the bottom of the sound.
As friends and family said goodbye to the Newport newswoman who died shielding her children from gunfire, police say they made an arrest. Officers charged 2 teenagers in the death of 27-year-old Phyllis Vinston. She was gunned down outside her apartment in the East End on January 5th. Her sisters told us they're relieved the suspects are off the streets.
Great, wonderful.
Yes,
I'm
like
relieved.
a sense of relief, you know.
Glad that my sister, the people that killed my sister, will hopefully be prosecuted.
Police charged the 15 and 16-year-olds with 1 count each of murder, along with firearms charges. Police are not releasing their identities because they're juveniles. They're being held in juvenile detention.
And tonight, 2 men are behind bars charged with the shooting of a Virginia Beach man this weekend. They found 24-year-old Divin Beckwith Hall lying in the 19th Street parking lot on Pacific Avenue around 1:30 Sunday morning. Police say he got into a fight with Demayan Dennis and Alonzo Phelps, which led to the shooting. The victim's family is devastated.
He was working for Pepsi, and he just got engaged to his girlfriend that he had ever since they was 15, and they was scheduled to get married right in February. They had just got their wedding license and everything.
Both Dennis and Phelps are charged with murder, and again they are behind bars tonight.
Chesapeake police say a suspect they were chasing died when he crashed his car into a pole. Our cameras captured the scene on Greenbrier Parkway early this morning. Investigators say they tried to pull the driver over, but he wouldn't stop. It all started when someone called 911 saying bullets went through his home on Center Mast Crest. The caller identified the gunman and officers found the vehicle.
I heard gunshots real fast. Bow, 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 bow. Yeah, my roommate had his window cracked, heard some people making noises, arguing, and then heard a car drive off right down the road.
Police have not released the suspect's name. They say his cause of death and the crash are under investigation.
Virginia Beach police chased down a man they say was drunk. 28-year-old Zachary Gautier is also charged with eluding police, hit and run, and driving on the sidewalk. Police say someone called, reporting his erratic driving on Princess Anne Road near Baxter Road. Officers say when they tried to arrest him, he rear-ended an unmarked patrol car. They finally caught him on John Jay Lane near Pembroke Mall. No one was hurt, and Gautier is in the Virginia Beach jail.
Newport News police investigators say smoke inhalation killed 81-year-old Bobby Greer when her 27th Street home caught fire Saturday. Investigators told Fox 43 News they tried to get her out by breaking the windows, but the smoke and flames were too intense. Investigators say the fire is not suspicious, but they have not yet determined an exact cause.
Norfolk police are looking for 2 bank robbers who knocked off this BB&T on Cromwell and Tidewater Drives. It happened just before 10 o'clock this morning, and our cameras were there as detectives looked for clues. No one was hurt, but you should call police if you know anything.
Suffolk police say 3 women attacked another woman last night. Now the trio is charged with assault by mob. Investigators say Shalisha Cook, Melissa Cook, and Janetta Carroll barged into a home and started punching the victim in the face. This happened on White Marsh Road. Investigators say the women were fighting over a, quote, baby daddy drama. The victim went to a relative's house for help and should be okay.
Lance Armstrong, a confession from him that he used performance-enhancing drugs to win the Tour de France. Our sister station in Austin just recorded the interview with Oprah Winfrey. Armstrong was stripped of all 7 Tour titles last year after claiming he had never doped. It's the first time he has admitted to using drugs. 11 of his former teammates accused him of masterminding a drug operation that included steroids and other drugs. Armstrong's interview with Oprah Winfrey is scheduled to air Thursday.
Former President George H.W. Bush is at home resting. Doctors released him from Methodist Hospital in Houston this afternoon. They say Mr. Bush will need no special medication, but he will continue physical therapy to rebuild his strength. The 88-year-old was hospitalized since November 23rd for treatment that started as a bronchitis-related cough.
And new information about this girl fight video we reported last week. Deputies charged one of the girl's mothers. You'll hear what the other mom said to Fox 43 News.
Plus, the Gilmerton Bridge is back open to traffic ahead of schedule, but the project isn't over yet. find out when it'll finally be finished.
Plus a new detour at the gateway to the ocean front. Find out what crews are doing along Laskin Road.
And update that resume. We're first on Fox helping you get work. Someone's having a major job fair this weekend. This video should give you a clue. All the details next.
This is your late news, first on Fox, with Nicole Livas, Tom Shad, and Chief Meteorologist Don Slater. You're watching Fox 43 News at 10.
Test, 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 test. Hello, 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 hello.
Five days ahead of schedule, the Gilmerton Bridge in Chesapeake is back open to drivers. Fox 43 News was there as the first cars drove over part of the new span tonight. Gilmerton is one of 3 bridges that cross the southern Elizabeth River. Since last weekend, drivers had to take the high-rise or New Jordan Bridge instead. Fox 43's Jason Marks was there when the Gilmerton reopened. Jason?
Nicole, as you mentioned, ahead of schedule. Crews say they got the pieces into place faster than they thought they would, which now gives drivers another option. 2 years of construction is done, and so is the first span of the new Gilmerton Bridge.
We've come together and we worked hand in hand, day and night, to get this done.
The $134 million project, paid for by mostly federal funding, replaced the old, aging bridge built back in 1938.
So you see over here, that's the old Gilmerton Bridge. It's sitting on a barge.
You can see the difference in the new Gilmerton Bridge right away. For starters, we're 35 feet off the water. Take a look at the old Gilmerton Bridge, and you can see how low that one is. What will happen here is this will allow for less bridge lifts, which will allow traffic to keep flowing.
Obviously, it means a lot less traffic congestion. Traffic's going to flow a lot smoother on this, the new Gilmerton Bridge. Another major difference is the bridge is going from 1 lane in each direction to 2. Construction won't fully be complete until 2014. Right now, crews are getting ready to build an identical span to the one they just finished, which will be used for westbound traffic. The construction will start on that project immediately. Now, most of the work has been done at night, and crews will continue to do so. VDOT says overnight bridge closures will resume tomorrow and run through January 24th.
The bridge will be closed 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. There will also be nightly closures the week of January 27th. Jason Marks, Fox 43 News.
And again, the Gilmerton was supposed to be closed for another week, and during that time, drivers could get a $1 discount at the new Jordan Bridge toll. That deal will continue for the rest of this week, even though the Gilmerton is now open.
Another big construction zone, the Laskin Gateway project in Virginia Beach. It's nicknamed the Gateway to the Ocean Front. Work's been going on here for years. Now, the final stage. Laskin Road between 30th Street and Arctic Avenue will be closed to upgrade storm drains, remove 2 stoplights, build wider sidewalks, and put in more landscaping. Detours are in place. This entire $28 million project will take close to 6 months.
Well, we got some rain today, and it was still warm. I thought it was going to get really cold, but I guess not yet, huh?
Slowly, right, Don?
Yeah, it is getting colder slowly. High temperatures today were 67, 68 thereabouts, and right now it's 50.
Insane.
So we dropped, what, 17 degrees already. So hopefully brought you a jacket with you.
I did.
And an umbrella, because you're going to need it. You're going to need the umbrella tomorrow and the jacket. Here's what's going on. You won't need the umbrella all day long for the south side. Peninsula, for much of the day, you will need that umbrella. Anywhere to the north, from the peninsula northward, you're likely to see a real solid shot of rain coming up tomorrow night, and on into Wednesday morning. Might be a stray shower later in the day on Wednesday, but it's mostly been from the peninsula northward. South side, you're going to get some rain. Northeast North Carolina, you're likely to get some rain, but it's not going to be as much as the areas that have seen it already, basically right in this corridor, right on up to the eastern shore as well. We've got a new area of rain out there that's developing to the west of I-95, and that'll be moving on in just a little later. Now, right now, still scattered rain across the peninsula, not as much across the south side. We're seeing some of it certainly for the middle peninsula, the northern neck. Eastern shore, relatively quiet for right now, but again, we're seeing a pocket of heavier rain that's building on up into Sussex and Surrey County, and we'll start to see that move on through. And again, all that rain to the west of I-95 will move on through a little later on tonight. We're going to get socked with rain, so this is going to be continued over the next couple of days. Here's what's going on with our future track computer model. A front has dropped quietly through. Now, the rain is well behind the front, and coming up at 10:30, we're going to show you why the front is here. Usually right along a front, we have all the rain. Well, the rain is way out off to the north of it, and we'll show you why. It's something called overrunning precipitation. We'll show you that coming up in a few minutes. 4 o'clock in the morning, still widespread rain. You can see it from Lynchburg to Richmond and on up to the northern neck. Not quite as much, except down toward the Williamsburg area. By 7 o'clock, we can see it dropping through Gloucester County on toward the eastern shore. There's where things are by the noon hour tomorrow, 10 to 15 mile-an-hour winds. Not as much rain for the south side, but still, it's going to be an ugly day. It's going to be a nasty day, though, again, from the peninsula and northward, especially from Williamsburg and northward. 7 o'clock in the evening, northeast winds at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Midnight hour tomorrow night, relatively quiet, but 7 o'clock on Wednesday morning, a little more active. Now, you'll see a little shot of warmer air try and lift northward just for a time during the day on Wednesday. But what's going on is this will finally kick on out as a cold front later in the day Wednesday and into Wednesday night. There's where things are Wednesday evening at 7, maybe a stray shower, but then finally it kicks southward as a cold front, and I think we're going to be done with it. But it'll be about a day and a half worth of off and on rain, especially, as I mentioned, for the peninsula northward, and you can really see it. An additional third of an inch, less rain farther southward. But look at this, upwards of 3 inches of rain is entirely possible. 2.5, 3 inches of rain through that swath, basically from the middle peninsula, northern neck, eastern shore, back westward toward the Richmond area. Lots of rain throughout the region right now. It's not quite as widespread, but that'll pick back on up again. 48, 52 degrees. There's our high for the day, 68 degrees. So again, we're significantly cooler. 48 right now into Hampton, 20 degrees cooler in Hampton than it was for a high temperature today. But it's still fairly mild in Elizabeth City, Manteo, Rocky Mount. So that front is right on into here. And again, that front is going to kind of wiggle and waggle wiggle around 48 degrees, 47, 48 tomorrow. And then we move on into Wednesday. Remember how I showed you that front will live northward for a time? Well, it will, but then it'll start dropping back down by later on in the afternoon and evening and cool things right back on down. So again, tomorrow our best shot at rain looks like it'll be during the morning, early afternoon hours. It'll be around 48 degrees for a high temperature. Wednesday back up to 54, some mainly morning rain. Some clearing taking place for Thursday, 49. Then we'll see another cold front drop through. It's up in the Great Lakes right now, and that'll drop on through for Friday and cool things down there. Little cool for the weekend, but at least some sunshine by then.
This recent warm weather's not been good for some farmers. Find out why the prices of your favorite fruit could be going up.
And looking for a job? A local theme park is looking for hundreds of workers. Find out when you can apply.
Looks like fun. I'm Bruce Rader. Coming up in 25 minutes on the Sports Wrap, Lance Armstrong does his widely anticipated sit down with Oprah and spills it all. I'll look back at this past weekend's NFL game and tell you who are the favorites to make it to the Super Bowl. I'll announce the newest class to be inducted into the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame and the plays of the week, only at 10:45 and only on the Sports Wrap.
Looking for a job? Busch Gardens and Water Country USA are looking for you. They need hundreds of workers to help in all sorts of seasonal positions like entertainment, food service, ride operations, entry level to season work. It's all available. One of the perks includes discounted tickets. If you're interested, use the employee entrance at Busch Gardens and show up at the Fest House on January 19th from 10 o'clock in the morning until 2 p.m. Be sure to bring that updated resume.
The recent warm weather was a nice break from winter, but it could mean higher prices at the grocery store. North Carolina fruit growers say it's not good for apples and peaches. They need temperatures below 45 degrees. Farmers say it could affect the number of bushels and the quality of the crop. New information about that girl fight in Hartford where deputies charged the mom of one of the girls involved. Next at 10, a surprising interview with the mom of the other girl who threw fists.
And later, the holidays are over and so are those cheap gas prices. You'll hear why.
This is your late news, first on Fox, with Nicole Livas, Tom Shad, and Chief Meteorologist Don Slater. You're watching Fox 43 News at 10.
So I'm glad I brought my raincoat tonight.
Whoa,
what's
that was
wrong?
new, that animation.
Oh, yeah.
Was like, goose were flying through the screen at people. Hope we didn't scare you. You brought your raincoat. I think it's a good move. But
Yes.
the peninsula northward, Williamsburg, we've had upwards of an inch of rainfall
Oh, wow.
into that area. So again, a lot of rain already. We're going to see a lot more too. Here's a look around at what's going on. Seeing a little let up for right now in terms of the rainfall through the region, but we move on in. And you can see next to nothing in terms of rainfall going on for the south side but really all day into northeast North Carolina. There hasn't been all that much. And really this is going to be the focus of the rain from the peninsula, middle peninsula, and the northern neck. Right now we're seeing a little bit of a let up. There's some of that heavier rain starting to gather a little strength towards Surrey County and a lot more on off to the west. Now that is going to continue and it's going to continue off and on all the way coming up into Wednesday morning. Now you will note that the front is here. Obviously, it's into North Carolina. We've got a northeast wind out into here, some cooler air. Usually along a front, that's where we see the rain, right? Well, not in this case, because there's enough of a southerly wind flow out ahead of the front, right on into here, to do something called overrunning precipitation. We'll show you what that means here in just a second. That front is going to hang around, and it's going to continue that rainfall right through on into here, where we could see 2-3 inches of rain. But finally, on Wednesday night at midnight, that front will get kicked on southward. Now, when a front moves in, a cold front moves in. It moves in basically in kind of a wedge. There's where the front of the cold air is. There's warm air out ahead of it, cool air at the Earth's surface right on into here. Well, what happens is, here's the front. When that front stalls out, that warmer air rises up over the top of the cooler air, and when it hits the air aloft, it cools, it condenses, and forms some light rain or snow if it is indeed cold enough. But we're going to see scattered rainfall tomorrow at 7. At the noon hour, scattered rain, 46, 48 for a high coming up tomorrow afternoon and around 3 o'clock and around 5, 6 in the afternoon. Still scattered showers and around 46 degrees. It's going to rain, especially for the peninsula and northward. It's just plain going to be continuing through the day tomorrow into tomorrow night and Wednesday morning. We'll show you a much improved look at things for our 7-day forecast in just a few minutes.
Well, a North Carolina woman is fighting back after another mother hit her daughter during a street brawl. You may have seen this. We showed you the video Friday first on Fox and told you Perquimans County deputies arrested Kim Weiner. The mother of the other girl involved in that fight talked to our Ann McNamara.
When Mom Maureen Register saw this cell phone video on her daughter's Facebook page, she took it to the sheriff.
I am the one that called on the mother because I feel it's wrong, because I'm going to take a stand for that.
The blonde you see in the fight is Register's daughter. The woman wearing a gray sweatshirt and a ponytail is the other girl's mother, Kim Weiner. The voice you hear is hers.
Grab her, knock her on the ground. Get her on the ground. There you go, kick her. Kick her.
She seemed like she was more into the fight than the girls were. I mean, I understand teenagers fight, but I do not find this acceptable for parents to be there and not pull them aside, at least call the other parent and be like, can you come down here because we have a problem?
Register says the mental beating has gotten worse since she pressed charges. She says her daughter has received death threats on the internet and gets harassed at home.
Last night, there were people driving back and forth, stopping in the middle of the street, screaming things, honking their horns.
Register plans to put her daughter through the Scared Straight program to deal with her behavioral issues.
I just want what's best for all children. I'm not a perfect mother. I don't think anyone can be a perfect mother.
She hopes the other family will get the help they need too, both mother and daughter.
So, let's go home. You lost.
Ann McNamara, Fox 43 News.
And Fox 43 News went to Kim Weiner's home to get her side of the story. Weiner's daughter answered and said she was the one who fought Register's daughter in that video. And she said the fight was their business and refused to do an interview with us. Kim Weiner has since bonded out of jail.
It seems Virginia is for wine lovers. Vino sales reached an all-time high in the state last year. Wineries across the Old Dominion sold almost 485,000 cases in 2012. That's up 2% from last year. Much of that came from people outside the state. They accounted for 39% of total wine sales. Much of that may have to do with a new national campaign the governor's office is promoting Virginia wines.
Great vignette. Low gas prices have nowhere to go but up. A gallon of regular unleaded fell 58 cents between October and December, but prices have gone up 6 cents in the last 3 weeks. We'll see if it's a trend. Experts say it's because of the rising price of crude. Triple Ace is a gallon of regular costs $3.30 a gallon across the nation. A little lower in Virginia at $3.28, and here in Hampton Roads, we're shelling out about $3.25. And we are first on Fox, helping you get the lowest gas prices in your neighborhood. Go to fox43tv.com and search the Gas Tracker feature.
If you can't get enough of Charles the Monarch, he'll be on the Hampton Road Show tomorrow. You remember Charles, the Labradoodle, groomed to look like the ODU Monarch. People who saw him running around called 911, mistaking him for a lion that had escaped from the Virginia Zoo. You can catch Charles and his owners tomorrow morning on the Hampton Road Show. It airs at 11 a.m. on our sister station, Wavy News 10.
That shot, he does not look like a real dog, but he's cute. Love him. The parties are still going strong in Hollywood after last night's Golden Globe Award.
That's a lot of parties and a lot of surprises. We'll recap the winners and losers next at 10. $20 million of us watched first-time host Tina Fey and Amy Poehler host the Golden Globes.
Lots of great reviews, too. Lots of surprises last night, too, including 2 big wins for Argo.
Fox's Courtney Friel has the highlights.
And the Golden Globe goes to Argo.
Proving the 70th annual Golden Globes was more than just Hollywood's night to party, Argo stole the show, winning Best Motion Picture Drama and Best Director for Ben Affleck, despite being snubbed for an Oscar nom.
I'm really grateful. We got nominated for 7 Oscars, including Best Picture. I was thrilled. I mean, if you can't be happy with that, your future, your prospects for like long-term happiness are probably pretty dim. You know, I'm elated. I'm elated tonight. I feel like the luckiest guy in the world.
Les Miserables. The Hollywood Foreign Press sang praises for the A-list adaptation of Les Miserables, and its stars Hugh Jackman and Anne Hathaway also won in their categories.
The show has been so important to so many people, myself included. I just wanted to be a part of it. I honestly would have played a musket, so I'm thrilled that I got to, sing a really good song.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Favorite to win, Daniel Day-Lewis took the gold for Best Actor in a Motion Picture Drama for his role as Lincoln, and Zero Dark 30's Jessica Chastain won Best Actress honors.
Oh, what does it say? I beat Meryl.
Jennifer Lawrence accepted for Best Actress in a musical or comedy for Silver Linings Playbook, and Christoph Waltz represented for Django Unchained, while his director Quentin Tarantino was surprised by his win for Best Screenplay.
I'm nominated. I got it for writing, and I was nominated for writing as well for the Oscars too. So so far so good as far as that's concerned.
Small screen honors went to Showtime's hit Homeland for Best TV Series Drama. For comedy, it was HBO's Girls. Other big standouts, hosting duo Tina Fey and Amy Poehler kept the laughs rolling, and a special appearance by former President Bill Clinton. After Hollywood's laid-back night of partying, the winners will enter the next race as frontrunners at the Academy Awards this February. In Los Angeles, Courtney Friel, Fox News.
Yeah.
Warm up there.
Can't wait for the Oscars.
For the big one.
Argo's the only movie I've seen. I need to get out there and see some movies.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of them yet, including Lincoln. So that's
check
my
them out.
number one for me on the list.
Well, it all comes down to 4 teams for the NFL playoffs.
And some big-name Virginia athletes are honored. And this time, you have to stick around to see the plays of the week on the Fox 43 Sports Wrap.
We were just talking about movies and lots of good movies to see. You might want to rent some movies or watch TV the next couple of days or read a good book because we're going to get stuck with some rainfall. And basically from the peninsula northward, that's where we're going to see heaviest rain, some on the south side. It'll last into Wednesday morning. Cool weather remains as well.
Big news on the Sports Wrap.
See you back here tomorrow night, first on Fox.
Live from the Fox 43 studio, this is the Fox 43 Sports Wrap with Bruce Rader, presented by Geico.
Finally, after all this time, Lance comes clean and confesses to Oprah he doped during the Tour de France. I'm Bruce Rader. Welcome to the Sports Wrap Live on this Monday night. It is the worst kept secret in sports. It has been for a while. Tonight, though, surrounded by close friends, sources say that Lance Armstrong finally admitted to using performance-enhancing drugs during his sit-down with Oprah Winfrey this afternoon in what was described by the Associated Press as an interview that was emotional at times. Armstrong told Winfrey he used performance-enhancing drugs to win the Tour de France, but the extent of his admission was unclear. Armstrong had apologized to the staff at his Livestrong Cancer Foundation earlier in the day, but he failed to directly acknowledge that he had used performance-enhancing drugs en route to 7 Tour de France titles. During that meeting, the interview with Oprah is scheduled to be broadcast on Thursday. It will be the Falcons at home against the 49ers and the Patriots hosting the Ravens this coming weekend, with the winners going to the Super Bowl. One of the most exciting of the 4 games this weekend was played in Atlanta, where the Falcons hosted the Seattle Seahawks. The Falcons jumped out to a 20-0 lead at home over the Seahawks, and you figure the game was over, but rookie Russell Wilson and the Seahawks scored 28 points in the second half, including a touchdown with less than 45 seconds left to go. Ahead 28-27, Atlanta, the top seed in the NFC and known as the team that just can't win a playoff game, looked to be the foil again. It was an almost unbelievable scenario, but quarterback Matt Ryan comes up with a big final drive, and then Matt Bryant would kick the field goal that would win the game. The Falcons 30-28. So this weekend, the Falcons will host the San Francisco 49ers, who eliminated the Packers 45-31. The Packers defense could not stop 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick, who didn't even start the first 11 or 12 games this season, but the Packers couldn't touch him Saturday. He ran for more yards than any quarterback ever. Now, his teammates just love this kid. They respect him. They want to play for him. The fans love him. Now we'll see if the Falcons defense can stop him on Sunday afternoon. In the AFC, Denver at home lost to the Ravens 38-35. I say the Broncos lost the game because they did. They lost the game. They had 2 kick returns for touchdowns, one at the start of the game, one early in the second half. They scored 35 points at home, but they just couldn't close the deal. Peyton Manning, who was 9-11 in playoff games, is a great player, but he did not turn in a great performance this weekend. Although Ravens quarterback Joe Flacco might have a 70-yard bomb to Jacoby Jones to tie the game. Look at the safety, just out of position. It goes into 2 overtimes, and then Peyton Manning's 3rd turnover of the game gave the Ravens a chance for a game-winning field goal, which they got, and Baltimore wins by 3 again in double overtime. So next week, the Ravens travel to New England to take on the Patriots. New England not about to get caught up in the frenzy of the crazy weekend. Tom Brady picks up his 17th playoff win, beating the Texans 41-28, as Brady and his coach Bill Belichick are now 1 win away from reaching their 6th Super Bowl together. Brady, 344 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a 115 passer rating. And this is despite losing Pro Bowl tight end Rob Gronkowski to a season-ending broken arm on the 2nd drive of the game. Brady's like, hey, who needs him? I'll still have a great game. As far as the favorites for next weekend, the 49ers are 4-point favorites to beat the Falcons in Atlanta, and the Patriots are 9-point favorites at home to beat the Ravens. A well-respected athletic director, a successful basketball coach, the all-time college basketball points and rebounds leader, and 3 NFL players headline this year's class and will be inducted into the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame. The inductees were introduced today before the Virginia General Assembly in Richmond. Among them, former Virginia Tech All-American Cornell Brown, along with Lawrence Burton and Robert Pratt, all former NFL players. Former University of Richmond basketball coach Dick Tarrant. They are part of a 7-man class that will be inducted into the Hall in Portsmouth on April 27th.
Great honor to be acknowledged and be represented in your home state, and being a Hall of Fame is a tribute that not many people get, and for me it's a very humbling thing and very exciting.
I'm a little surprised, not only the time element, since I've been, but I never gave it any thought. I shouldn't say much, I mean any, because usually coaches have big numbers. I coached 30, 35 years. I only coached 12 years. So a couple of 100 wins doesn't get you in the Hall of Fame.
But it did for that guy. Now here's the complete list. It features Franklin Allen, a Roanoke College All-American and all-time leader in points and rebounds in Virginia history. Brown, Lawrence Burton, a first-round pick in the 1975 NFL Draft for the New Orleans Saints, and a former Olympic sprinter in the 72 games in Munich. Longtime JMU Athletic Director Dean Ellers, Robert Pratt, a 12-year NFL veteran, Bill Roth, the sports play-by-play announcer of Virginia Tech,